if we tend to take our clients for granted, and we think, oh, we got them already, they're going to stay with us. Nobody's going to stay with you forever if you don't nurture the relationship. And every person, has a circle of influence of around 40 to 50 people. So if you get in their circle of influence, you really never have to market again. The problem is these trainers, they go in there and they're like, I want to learn marketing, I want to push button. And they don't get their service right. They got crappy service. They have a crappy product. And like I said before, you guys, heard me talk about at breakfast. If you get really good at marketing as your service sucks, you're going to market yourself right out of business. Because the more people going to get in the door, the more people know that you suck, and the word is going to spread around, and nobody's going to come back. So that's my 2 cents. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Kurt?
I don't have anything to add. Those are great answers.
Question. How big would your business be if you still had all your old clients?
Ours would be bigger, but our retention is
Since you've been a
pretty
trainer?
high. Since I've been a trainer. Oh, that's another question.
That's a
years
great
and years.
question.
Yeah.
That's a great question right there. How
Yeah.
big will your business be if you never lost any clients since you started training? Ask yourself that. That is a brilliant question. That's brilliant.
So I think basically most of the time is everyone's looking to go, go, go. One of the guys I learned from basically used to say schedule thinking time. And so one of those things was basically critical thinking, looking to change. You have got to take time and schedule that into your time to say, okay, ask yourself that question, how big would it be if I grow my business? Then ask yourself the next question, what could I do to entice them back in? Do you hold your hand up and say, listen, I fucked up, but I want to do better? I've forgotten about you. There's obviously 3 series, 3-step nails of recovery. Just linking it into what you want to do to get them back. So whether you, listen, all I want is the opportunity to test out my new program, and, I don't want any money, but I would like you to help support us, and I'm going to make this donation to this charity. So you tie them in and say, okay, you've got America's a massive obesity, or whatever the charity is. They can choose a charity, whatever, but I'm sure you can pick one, they make a donation, and you bring them back in, you got a chance to wow them again, because you've got to rebuild that relationship. You know what I mean? And I would actually make a list of all these people, and you're going to have some probably A clients, B clients, C clients. Look at the length of time, how long they're gone out of the circle. Start to rebuild the relationship. Send them a postcard. You mentioned it all, a card. You know what I mean? We used to do business together, and at that time I was still learning. Hold up and say, listen, I fucked up, but I'd like an opportunity again to regain your trust and help you achieve your goals.
Yeah.
So I think, like, if you look at that, but if you go to a restaurant and the waiter comes out to you and says, listen, that was a great meal, how do you feel? How do you feel? How did you get on? What was your service? So Tam talked about service last night with sushi.
Yeah.
How did it feel? And the lads were all saying, okay, that's how they did their business. How different would that feel if that was the owner of that restaurant coming over to you and sitting down with you, or the chef, and saying, well, now how do you feel that meal? Because an A business owner is better than a B manager.
Yeah.
And if you're going to basically ring these up, you can send a mail as much as you like, but that doesn't mean anything. So you have to take the time out of your day and face up and say, listen, hands up, I made a balls of shit, but listen, I want a chance to be better. So if you make that list out of people, you can do the written mail, but follow it up with a phone call. Don't hide behind the PC. And then organise and say, listen, I'd really like an opportunity again to regain your service. You can do the 3 written mail and the postcard. And I know at Christmas time we sent out all Christmas cards to all our ex-clients. And then also started getting texts back and all this and thanks, and I really appreciate it. I haven't seen someone in a few years. But I think it's just that sort of time. Everyone's looking out for it. It's going to cost you more to get a new client than it's going to reactivate an old one.
Yeah.
One thing I forgot to say, is that, in our schedule, both Armando and I, Armando is, my VP of operations, he runs my business. That's why I'm here. That's why I can do everything. So, we have scheduled what I call PR times. You know, what it would mean is we just go, and people cross the car meal, and we say, how you doing? How are you? How's your family? How's Sabrina doing? You know, how's Jackie doing? How's your school? You know, so it's very important to always keep, you know your about your clients, know their life, and know their family, know their kids. Get involved with them at an emotional level, and I mean, you know, have fun with it. You know, don't treat them transactionally. You know, build the relational capital. You know, and you know, if you schedule some PR time, because it's funny, you know, a few years back, me and Armando got caught up into just get behind the computer, words and emails out, this and that, and we totally neglected that. And we saw our retention rate start dropping. Because now, you know, they see us as, we're just there. People don't see, they come to the gym, they don't see that gym is your job. Nobody's going to come to your office and all of a sudden, like, you know, disrupt you. But when you come to a gym, they somehow think that, you know, it's a social atmosphere. So if you're kind of ignoring them, you're not saying hi to your clients, and you're just walking by, you don't know anything about them, they're not going to stay with you. So schedule some PR times that you're going to be around, you know, and just talk to your clients, get them to know at a personal level. And I like that book, Never Eat Alone. You know, once a week, you know, take one client out to lunch. Take them out to lunch. Get them to know, you know, connect with them. You know, talk to them. And don't go for an agenda and ask for referrals. You know, just go to, don't go for the agenda behind, just go and connect with them. That would be the best thing. Don't go to, hey, you know, by the way, here's a hamburger, give you some referrals. Here's a referral cost. No.
You know what? I want to open up a business called Hamburger and Referrals.
Yeah, hamburger and referrals.
Get all the local businesses to
That's a good idea.
You know what fascinates me? We have election season coming up again this year. And if you think about it, how many hands do the candidates, I mean, say what you want to say about the Democrats, Republicans, I mean, everyone's got their own political views or whatever, right? So let's just put that aside for a second. Think about how hard these guys are working to get on the plane, sacrifice everything, and to shake hands 24/7. How many hands do they shake?
That's
over
great
eight
point.
over 8 month period. Okay. They go in, and if they don't shake those hands, they're not going to get elected. I don't care what poll numbers come out or what anyone says. You know, it's a smile, and they're going to shake their hand. And those guys, I'm going to use the wrong phrase, they hustle. You know, in a nice way, in a relational way. As Sam said, transactional and relational. They hustling. They're going out. Thank you very much. You know, appreciate your support. Smile. You know, a little bit of Kleenex, whatever. Clean their hands, and they go. Next person. Boom, boom, boom. And you got to respect that. I mean, they hustle through it, and it's amazing how they build that connection during the 8 month period, and then bang, they forget about everyone for the next 4 years, right? So it's a different topic of conversation, but
personal touch.
yeah.
Goes a
I think
long
what
way.
you basically
Bill
have,
Clinton was the
Bill
master
Clinton
of
was
that.
that the one.
Yeah.
The comment that always people make was he made you feel like you're the only person in the room.
I think Bill Clinton over-delivered, though.
And what I would say to you as well, the other point I would say, okay, was one is you're talking about, okay, how do I improve my bottom line? First and foremost, Sam mentioned a great point about looking at where you're bleeding, is actually doing hour by hour, day by day, put a value per hour, monetarily, on where your business peak hours are. Now, before you even think about looking at a second premises, look at where you're leaking money, look at where you need to increase. All of that things until you have all your peak hours full. You know what I mean? And you don't have, the ghost hours are not ghost hours. I mean, in the quiet hours in the afternoon, you have somebody. So look at, like Brendan Bouchard made a good point, and then everyone in the fitness industry gets niche, and he basically saying niche just was revolved from with advertising. Budgets were so small that they couldn't hit everyone. So they said niche down. But look at, say, what's the adjacent market? How can you provide a solution to engage the whole family? So what I'm looking at doing is I have either businessmen or businesswomen in the morning. Then you might have the mammies, but now I'm looking at them quiet times, and I'm looking at bringing in, well, how can I train the kids? 13 to 16 or whatever, you pick a different thing. But now I've got the whole family Now you're going to make a change in the industry. Now you're going to make a change in their family, as opposed to one, collectively, how can you bring them in together? What other things are holding back your client from getting the results they need? Do they need help with nutrition?
Yeah, with the nutrition.
Do you do a nutrition program?
Yeah.
A weight management program?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you do foam rollers?
We don't sell those. No.
Okay. Do you offer supplements?
Yes.
Okay. Where's the different things? So, do you accountability? Like, what is there? Is there a workshop? Is there other little revenue centers that could be there for you?
Definitely. Yeah.
To the same, so you improve the investment per client. Do you know what the investment per client is?
I don't know the absolute number. No.
Yeah, well, it might be something to look. But look and say, if you're looking for a figure, like Neil mentioned the point earlier on about, like, okay, looking at increasing the value. If you know that your turnover, just say, is 20K, and you've got 200 clients, well then, okay, now I know I basically got about 100, whatever, per client.
Yeah.
You know, now can I make that 120?
Yeah.
Is it mandatory for everyone to have a foam roller? Or do you believe in using foam rollers?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so why doesn't everyone have it? If you believe in it, you know, because you know they're going to need it at some point.
Yeah.
And you're going to use it.
Talk about somebody with conviction, man. I mean, this guy came from Ireland. He has all his stuff with him. I mean, he's doing like foam rollers in the middle of my living room. You know, he has his chiropractic adjustment. He has chiropractic adjustment little gadget. And well, next thing you know, I'm coming out like, you know, right? He's like on the floor. and I'm running on my phone like, wow, like he practices what I mean with a conviction, and he believes.
That's the only thing is masturbating or what? What the fuck?
Yeah.
All of those.
We're gonna delete that one.
Actually, they don't like that.
Yeah, true that.
But I think if you look and say, okay, with your clients, how can you basically help them get the results that they need? Do they need extra accountability? Do they need a weekly call? Could you make that weight management program online? For the mammies that can't get out because they've only got the hour or two, and can you actually make that a webinar? But do bear in mind that the webinar, you're not going to have an hour to spend on the webinar, but you make that shorter. Can you get the lesson across?
Well, you make a very good point there, Damien, because the way I'm looking at it, you know, maybe you may reach a decision where you can't do anymore.
Yeah.
You know, and that could be a decision point too. That doesn't make sense. Every dollar you're going to invest incrementally is not going to bring back the return to you anymore. But I like it. First, optimize it, get the best you can, and then you'll know at some point whether you can't. It's not really worth the point doing anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because it could be limitations. For example, like a corporate. I'm just making this stuff up. You know, there could be limitations on the people or who's allowed to enter the building, and maybe you can't even sell them stuff because the corporate clients. I'm just making it up, but I'm saying, you know, there could be a point where you just can't do it anymore.
Return to everything.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And I think, like, well, you know, one of the things that I've learned, you know, especially being a dad, we're talking about, like, you know, expansion and, you know, and you know, what we learned in Chi-Town, being a dad and stuff like that. It just totally opened my eyes, man. Like, I look at everything as, you know, not just the bottom line money. You know, obviously, you know, money is always good. But I look at that A, the fun factor, will I have fun doing it? And B, how much time away from my family is it going to take? You know, because my number one mission in life is just to be my family. You know, I adore my wife and my little baby. I really do. You know, and I just, you know, if I could just, you know, roll around my little girl all day long and just be in the pool with her all day long, that's my favorite thing to do. So when it comes to a time that you look at the investment and you're like, okay, if this, I'm going to do this, then I expect certain return on. And if I make this certain return on it, then it's worth my time away from my family. And it's worth my time to take a look at it. If it's not, then it's not. It's okay to walk away. You don't have to try to, you know, make every single dollar out there. I've done that before too, and you know, made a bunch of money, and you know, and next thing you know, but I'm miserable. You know, because now it's like, oh, I'm like, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, and I'm like, man, I don't want to do this. This is not worth my time. So that's where it comes. You gotta have that number. You gotta have a number of what is going to be your worthwhile number. You know what I mean?
Yeah.